After a decade of testing different camping tents while working at an outdoor education camp, we found the best camping tents that are easy to set up and durable enough for repeated use by teenagers. The right family camping tent is critical to getting a good night of sleep, weathering a storm, or having the right place to play cards and eat a meal. One of the best ways to move from surviving to thriving in nature is a well-ventilated, durable 4-person tent, or 6-person tent, to sleep in. We researched and tested to find the best family tent that's waterproof, windproof, and easy and quick to set up. Number 1. Kelty Wireless 6. The Kelty Wireless 6 is a spacious and feature-forward shelter for 6 people, and one of our favorite budget options. In a market where most tents cost well over $300, including much smaller-sized options, the Wireless 6 is an economical breath of fresh air that offers everything you need and nothing you don't. It has a ton of interior room. With a 76-inch peak height, the Wireless offers one of the highest ceilings on this list, so you won't have to stoop while you're inside. The long brow pole pulls the interior walls taut and nearly vertical, increasing the livable space. We found there's more than enough room to fit a family of 4 without feeling crowded, and for 2 people and a dog, it's downright grand. We like the Kelty Wireless for its cheerful and colorful aesthetic, but it's more than just pleasing to the eye. The tent is color-coded to make pitching fast and easy. One of our favorite features is the deep pole pockets, which replace the need to carefully place pole tips in small grommets during setup. Simply nestle the poles in the tall pockets to keep them securely lodged as you clip the rest of the tent onto the frame. Number 2. MSR Habitude 6. The MSR Habitude 6 is the king of stormproof, premium tents. For families and groups who want the best of the best when it comes to 3-season weather protection and organization, the Habitude is an outstanding base camp. This model is impressively spacious, but the simple square design of its floor lets it fit easily into tighter campsites. We fit 3 wide sleeping pads with no issue, but the Habitude is more than big enough for 4 or 5 people, with regular size pads, without feeling cramped. Plus, the peak height is well over 6 feet, plenty of room to stand up to change clothes. Our favorite comfort feature of the Habitude, besides the many well-placed pockets, is the built-in porch light, a push-button light embedded in the aluminum poles of the awning, positioned above the single entryway. This is a welcome touch during moonless evenings, midnight bathroom breaks, and rainy early mornings when you make it back to your tent. Number 3. Coleman Sundome 4. The Coleman Sundome 4 is the most affordable tent on this list. It's popular because it's so inexpensive, and almost always on sale somewhere, but is still relatively light and compact for its size. If you're looking for a budget-friendly shelter for occasional camping on bluebird days and calm nights in the front country, the Sundome may be all you need. Coleman keeps the weight of the Sundome down with lightweight fiberglass poles that create a simple and familiar structure. It's straightforward to set up, and one person can pitch the tent in less than 8 minutes, but an extra set of hands is helpful. An extended brow pole keeps the partial rainfly away from the windows, and a separate doormat is a welcome place to sit or stand while pulling on shoes or a jacket. We appreciate the Sundome for its spacious interior. We easily fit 3 regular camping pads and a dog bed in the tent and had plenty of room to spread out. The peak height is just shy of 5 feet, so we couldn't stand fully upright, but the lofty headspace is helpful for moving around. Number 4. Nemo Aurora Highrise 4. The Nemo Aurora Highrise 4 continues to impress us because of its durable build, huge interior space, and versatile design. For couples or families looking for a camping shelter that's both spacious and easy to set up, look no further than the Highrise 4. We love the giant door on the front, and that it stuffs away into a small, non-intrusive pocket. While the rear door is quite a bit smaller, we've found it doubles as an extra-large vent to keep air moving. The sturdy white mesh of the Highrise also sets it apart. It allows you to see out of the windows on all 4 sides, even when it's raining, but still offers remarkable privacy. The pole structure of the Highrise is unusual compared to other tents this size, so there's a bit of a learning curve the first couple of times you set it up, but it's a snap to pitch after that. The walls are steeply inclined, so you can stretch as wide and tall as you want in the morning and not touch the ceiling. And it's plenty durable, so it'll last for many years if you treat it with care. Number 5. Marmet Tungsten 4. If you're looking for a low-profile tent that's easy to use, fast to set up, and offers plenty of room for 3 people, or 2 people and a dog, the Marmet Tungsten 4 hits the sweet spot. It's durable, sharp-looking, and will last for years. The tungsten is user-friendly and simple to pitch. We found 2 people can set up this tent in just a few minutes, but 1 person can also knock out these steps with ease. The hubbed pole structure is color coordinated and is pre-bent to tension the tent perfectly. The tungsten is more spacious inside than it looks. With a ceiling height of almost 59 inches, it's not quite tall enough to stand up in for most people, but this lower profile performs better in howling winds and rain. The tungsten ceiling is about 10 inches taller than the REI half dome, which means more room to stretch your arms when you're waking up in the morning. Plus, this tent features 2 brow poles to maximize headroom when you're sitting up and moving around. Number 6. The North Face Wawona 6. If you're looking for a tent with the largest vestibule for your family outings, a summer trip with a group of friends, or adventures with lots of gear, the North Face Wawona 6 is your camping castle. Its vestibule, clever interior design, and outstanding ventilation make for a very comfortable place to sleep, hang out, and stage your next activity. When it comes to vestibule size, the Wawona is in a class of its own. The front vestibule is a whopping 44 square feet at the front, creating an entire additional covered space big enough to sleep in. Not only are these spaces ideal for stashing the typical muddy shoes, wet gear, and bulky items like backpacks, but the spacious vestibules can accommodate multiple bicycles, bins of gear, or up to 3 camping chairs and a small table to relax during a rainy afternoon. Although neither vestibule has a separate screen to keep out bugs, we don't mind too much. Number 7. Eureka Copper Canyon LX. The pros of the Copper Canyon LX are simple: it's massive, easy to set up, and affordable. But most importantly, it is about as close to an instant cabin tent with near vertical walls as we've seen. It sets up fairly quickly, around 10 minutes in our experience. In comparison, you can expect 15 to 20 minutes for other comparable tents. We had camping beginners set it up in the dark in the Eastern Sierra and they had no issues. Particularly impressive, Eureka has solved an age-old problem of tangled guy lines on the Rainfly by building in a small pocket for each line so they don't get tangled during setup. We also love the Copper Canyon's gear storage pockets. They're higher up from the floor so they're accessible for cot users. There's even a hanging mesh storage pocket in the middle of the tent. Treeline editor Naomi Hudetz tested this tent near Mount St. Helens in a damp, heavily forested area. There was no rain, but the tent did not have any issues with condensation. Treeline editor Liz Thomas also tested it on the California coast near Point Mugu and didn't have condensation issues. It survived the desert wind while camping in the Mojave Desert National Monument. Number 8. Alps Mountaineering Lynx. This 4-person tent is one of the most affordable tents we looked at, period. It offers campers a generous amount of vestibule space. It's a time-tested tent that lasts for years. As a brand, Alps Mountaineering has consistently produced affordable, reliable backpacking gear. Their tents have been a staple of some of my programs and stand up to the teenager test, rarely breaking despite repeated use by novice 13-year-olds. The Lynx is made in this tradition. As a backpacking tent, the Lynx is snugger than other family camping tents, but still large enough for a full-size foam mattress, pillow, and tote of clothes into it. Campers can store extra gear in the vestibule space. It's not as light as other backpacking tents, but it's light enough to carry, especially when split between 4 people. This balance is what makes the Lynx a great deal.